Hey everyone, it's Snipe City here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my 2018-19 bracket challenge. Luigi did his own yesterday, but I thought it would be cool to give you guys a perspective on our different opinions on what's going to happen this postseason. So over here in the West, to start it off, Calgary and Colorado. I think this series is going to go to Calgary just because of their entire dominant season. Obviously, Colorado finished pretty strong, but I just think because of their dominant season, Calgary is going to end up winning it. Next up, San Jose and Vegas. Obviously, both teams are solid. They've both made acquisitions late in the season. Talking about Mark Stone and Gustav Nyquist, but obviously some early acquisitions like Pacioretty and Erik Karlsson for the Sharks. In my opinion, the Sharks are going to take this one, just because they want revenge from last year, and I honestly don't think that the Vegas Golden Knights can complete what they started last year. We've seen it before when the Penguins played against the Sharks in the finals not too long ago. The next year, they didn't have a very strong postseason. Obviously, they made it back, but didn't have a very strong postseason, so that's what I think is going to happen with Vegas, unfortunately. Next up is Nashville and Dallas. Nashville is just a powerhouse in the playoffs, and I don't think that Dallas can match up with them, no matter how much talent they have with their top three guys. Then the Winnipeg and St. Louis one, a lot of people will disagree with me with this one, but I think St. Louis is going to take it. Winnipeg had a very strong beginning of the season, but finished off pretty weak compared to their standards usually, and St. Louis started with a very, very bad start to the season, but finished very, very, very strong. Going back to the East now. I'm sorry, Tampa's taking this one. I don't really need to explain it very much. Tampa's very strong. If I'm going to make them choke, it's going to be second round or conference finals, or even the finals, but I would not make them choke in that first round. Next up here, Toronto and Boston. This is going to be a really, really tight matchup, but I want a Canadian team to win, and I think a Canadian team is going to win. So Toronto's gonna win that one. Then the Washington-Carolina series. I think Washington's going to take it. They're defending Cup champions, and Carolina's new to the playoffs. Obviously, they want to go far to Carolina, and they're hungry, but I think Washington's just going to shut them down. And finally, for first rounds, we have New York Islanders against Pittsburgh Penguins. Islanders don't have very much playoff experience in the past decade, so I just think Pittsburgh's gonna win because they're just they're experienced in the playoffs, and they had a very strong finish to the season. Whereas New York was consistent, but they were consistent at their own pace. If that makes any sense, probably not. Okay, so going back to the West, Calgary, San Jose. I think Calgary is going to continue just because of that dominant season, like I said before. Nashville, St. Louis. Nashville, like I said, powerhouse in the playoffs. St. Louis, no matter how strong of a finish they had, Nashville is just too crazy of a team in the playoffs. That's what's going to make the Calgary and Nashville series that much more interesting. Then back to the East, Tampa Bay, Toronto. I think Toronto is going to make it past the second round, and Tampa Bay Lightning are going to choke in the second round this year. And this is going to be very frustrating for those fans, and if you guys are watching, I'm sorry. It's just I'm too accustomed to it, and I want a Canadian team to win. It's my prediction. At the same time, it's what I would like to happen. Like, if Montreal was in the playoffs right now, I'd put them in the finals. You guys wouldn't like that very much, like realistically wise, but I mean, I'm putting a Canadian team in there because they're a good team. Then Washington, Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is going to take revenge on Washington from last year, and I think they're going to come out strong against them. And yeah. So back to the West again, Calgary, Nashville. I think Nashville is going to find themselves in the finals. Like I said, the whole series from Dallas to the St. Louis series to now the Calgary series, I just think that Nashville, it's their time to win now. So I think they're going to find themselves in the finals. Just like in Luigi's bracket, he's put it. We have the same reasons in that department. And now back to the East. This one's going to be very interesting. I like this matchup. I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch. I think Toronto's making it to the Cup Finals this year. I don't care if they have young players without very much experience. I just think that they're gonna make it. They have 2 years they've made it to the playoffs, but I just think this is the third year that that everything is gonna go right and in their favor. So, in this finals, in my opinion, Toronto's gonna close it out. Toronto's gonna win their first Stanley Cup in approximately 50 years. The number of goals scored doesn't matter to me. Let's just say, I don't know, like if he scores like around 3-0, like 3-2 or 5-3 around there. So I think it's gonna end up going into a game 7. So I'm gonna say like, I don't know, 47. Let's just make that prediction. How many games will it take in the first round? Okay, so this one's gonna be in 5. This is gonna drag out 6. This one's gonna be 5. I'm not gonna put any sweeps, I don't think. It's just a bad prediction. The Winnipeg, St. Louis, that's gonna drag out. Maybe even a 7, but I'll say a 6. Tampa Bay. Oh, this would be the only one that I'm gonna say sweep, but maybe Columbus can muster something up at home. I have no idea. Boston, Toronto, that's 7 for sure. This one is gonna drag out to a 6 or a 5 just because of how hungry Carolina is, but I'm gonna keep it at 5. The New York Islanders, Pittsburgh won 6. And that's it. So that's my opinion on the 2018-19 postseason and how it's gonna go. If you guys agree or disagree, just let us know in the comments. Give us your reasons. We're always interested to know. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.